somehow, since last week and last episode, things have got worse. Yeah, I've not won since last episode, albeit only 2 games played. But today, to kick things off, Man City away, and Ange is their manager. This is a weird timeline. Yes, folks, how is it going? And a warm welcome back. It's Park to Prem, it's Monday, it's episode number 29, and today we have the FA Cup 5th round, which, I don't know, as a League One team to reach the FA Cup 5th round, that feels like a really good achievement. Reading have also matched our feat. Of course, we've not really been tested in this competition yet, and as you've already seen, we're currently taking on Man City, top of the Premier League right now. They are 7 points clear. Erling Haaland is a scary man who's currently top goal scorer in the Premier League, to the shock of absolutely no one. And if you're wondering where's Pep, he wasn't fired, he just left his job to go secure the bag at PSG. Yeah, that's a weird move, isn't it? Anyway, instead of focusing on Man City, maybe we should focus in on what's going on with us, because last episode we ended things with an embarrassing defeat against Wigan, a 3-0 defeat. I had 2 games to play before this game. Neither went to plan. The first of them, a defeat against Charlton. We found ourselves 2 goals down at half-time, tried to mount a comeback, got 1 goal but couldn't find a second, did try and mix things up to chase the result. Didn't really deserve to win it, to be honest. And after that, for the second time this year, we lost to a Rotherham team who are just getting through managers for fun. They're currently 21st in the league. They're in the relegation zone. They have so far sacked 2 managers this year. They're on their manager number 3 in Rob Edwards. And he's not doing that much better for them. And yet in this game, their centre-back managed to score. Admittedly, it wasn't a set piece, so that was refreshing. But still, that effort there from Iorfa, a centre-back. What does it mean for our league position? Well, suddenly we are down in 4th with 9 games remaining of the year. We are now 10 points behind Wigan. And perhaps more concerningly, the likes of Blackburn and Bolton, who sit in 7th and 8th, well, they're only a couple of points behind us. Yeah, this battle in the playoffs and maybe for second spot is really, really close all of a sudden. Now, like I already mentioned, we have got Man City today. Elsewhere, we do have the EFL trophy that we are still in. We've actually made it to the semi-finals of this competition. I'm still not going to worry about this competition, but if we get to the final, you know, a trip to Wembley will be fun. But one thing I do just want to point out and kind of hold on to is if I just show you our league games remaining this year, because whilst things haven't gone to plan, I look at the upcoming opposition and I'll show you in the top right here, obviously the position of these teams. Blackpool in 5th, Leyton Orient in 22nd, Crewe also in the relegation zone, Preston 10th, Fleetwood 18th. Then to end the year, we've got Bristol Rovers who are in 23rd, Cardiff in 15th, Wickham in 16th, and then Bolton, the last game of the year. The reality is that Bolton away, Blackpool away, the 2 hardest games we've got. Our end of the season is easy. It should be fine for at least the playoffs, and yet, based on what we've seen recently this season, how can you not be worried? Now, we've had a lot of players out injured, as you guys already know. To be fair, more recently, it's been more squad players, but I guess the fact that so many players have had to take fitness tests ahead of this game, it's kind of an indicator that slowly but surely, players are getting back to full fitness, with the exception of Ashley Fletcher, who, of course, he broke his arm against Rochdale. Yeah, did I mention that? He broke his arm against Rochdale. I think that happened during last episode. Either way, we're going to go on a fun little side quest now as we take on Man City in the 5th round of the FA Cup. This is definitely the kind of game we should be winning. Plan of attack after that, I am going to do the Blackpool game at the end of February, and then from there, I'm going to play forward to whenever the youth intake, and to end the episode today, we'll have that youth intake. First things first, though, game against Man City. For this game here, unsurprisingly, we are going to change up one instruction and go to cautious. If I just select our best 11 team selection here, we nearly have our best 11 all of a sudden. Sadly, Will Fish is still cup tied, so he's not available for this one. On the bench, we can add a few reinforcements here and there. In terms of the main starting 11, though, it's not a bad spot to be in. You can see here, AA coming back from injury, recommended he plays 45 minutes. I am going to give him those minutes today just to try and build up a little bit of match sharpness. I feel like earlier on this year, I perhaps wouldn't have done that, but if we just look at kind of the schedule to end the year, fixtures are significantly more spread out. You look at some of the fixture schedule we had in the likes of October and January especially, the congestion was awful. I don't need to worry about resting players quite as much. Saying all of that, we have also got Blackpool still in 3 days. I don't want to get any injuries before that game. Interested to find out here how full strength are Man City playing. I mean, the FA Cup has a better reputation than the Carabao Cup in game, so I think the AI manager will prioritise this. I know in previous cup runs, sometimes we've seen rotated teams played against us. Oh, okay. Okay, who is Narty up top? Narty up top is a 19-year-old striker. There's no Erling Haaland on the pitch. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's still way better than half our players, and they've still got the likes of Rico Lewis, Timber, and Co. in their team. Yeah, we're definitely still underdogs in this one. They've got Echeverry as well. I had some great save games of Echeverry. He's very good. He's transfer listed by request. Don't think I can afford him, mind you. Okay, early on in this game, Oscar Bob, free kick. That's always scary. And then Narty, who I kind of looked at and went, he's not Erling Haaland. He nearly scored inside the first 5 minutes. That would have been a disaster. Also noticed there, my mentality had reset to positive. I've now gone back to cautious. I guess because I went into that next match bit, then backed out of it. It didn't save those settings. I don't really use the next match settings that often in Football Manager. Do people at home use them? Do you use the next match settings to set stuff up for specific games, that little option in the top right? I use it occasionally for big games like this. I just feel like playing positive against Man City. Probably not advised. You know what? It's an awful game of football, but 35 minutes in, it's still 0-0. We're not losing. And now we've got a cut. Oh, don't give me hope. Connor Pye whips it in. Edmondson couldn't get there. Luis Enrique, who I think is a regen goalkeeper, plucks the ball out the air for them. He's now going to look to get it out from the back. And from a moment of hope, as I thought perhaps we can make the most of a set piece, something that's been a kryptonite of ours this year, instead it might be them looking to catch us on the counter. The ball goes back to Gvardiol. Mateus Nunes to Jurrien Timber, playing in the middle. Gives it to Narty. They've got so many players forward here. Rico Lewis stepping forward with the ball on the right-hand side. Options in the middle. Pye puts in one tackle. He might need to put in another. Oscar Bob whips it. Edge of the box. Timber heads it down. It's blocked away, I think, and we've got it away from danger. And whilst I don't think there's a chance at a counter, and there's not, we're still holding on. Oh, don't do it. Of all the ways we could concede to Man City, a corner or a penalty. It's a penalty, isn't it? I don't want to look up. I think it's going to be checked by VAR, but I think it's a penalty. It is a penalty, right? Anson has still not really had that moment where I go, he's worth £7,000 because of that. Maybe a save here could prove his worth. He is thrusting his hips at Jeremy Doku. Didn't put him off. Doku scores. Of course, going into a game against Man City, expected us to get hammered, but to open up the goals conceded with a penalty, I mean, it's just a bit disappointing. We've not done anything in this game to the surprise of absolutely no one. It's 1-0 to City at the break. Part of me's like, oh, I need to change things half time. I'm playing Man City. There's only so much you can do. I'm going to switch our mentality here to balanced. And you know what? I did drop Alan off. I'm going to bring Alan in here, match sharpness-wise, for 45 minutes in this second half. I didn't spot that earlier. I think when I was setting up the next match things and I changed the mentality and brought in AA, it then reset when I went back. I don't know. Answers on a postcard. Either way, they've got another chance here, haven't they? Bob, back post, Timber. Hits the woodwork. It's a set piece that we're not really dealing with. And Gvardiol, well, mercifully for us, hits it over. Okay, half an hour left. Maybe I should bring in some fresh legs here. You know what? Voltman on... No, not Voltman. Never Voltman. Taylor on Newcombe. Joe Geldhart on Newcombe. Ramsey's not had the best of games, but I think I'm just going to have to keep him on the pitch. Carl Flood. You know what, Regista, you come in. Carl Flood actually is now listed as our key player. He has improved so much this year. Kind of a little bit worried that I should be playing him more than I am. He's still, in my eyes, behind JB in the pecking order, but actually, even though he's not the most mobile of players, he might actually be one of our best players at this point. Okay, well, look, there's 19 minutes left. We've not had a shot on target. Yeah, that's fair enough. But crucially, we're not out of this game yet. And, well, we still got time. You know, we could still get a goal here. 19 minutes left. Edmondson bringing it out from the back. He's going to lay it inside to Zach Orr. And now we're going to go back to Anson and try and make something happen round the back. Mbete to Anson. Lays it wide to Edmondson. 18 minutes, lads. We do need to get the ball forward at some point here. The ball to AA is nice. Back with Mbete. If I'm not mistaken, did Mbete play for Man City once upon a time? I think he did play against them. He looks to get some revenge against his former club as we have a chance here. Gelhardt is forward. He's through. He's got to go on his own, and that shot is shocking. We've still not hit the target. Okay, we are kind of running out of time now. I'm going to have to go to attacking, I think, to end this game. Flood to roaming playmaker. Matos, Segundo Volante on attack. We're getting exotic in here. Also, Ajaria on a booking and tied. Egbo on Yukam. That, really, what I've done there is probably the last roll of the dice. The only other thing I could do, and I've made all my subs now, so it probably makes it difficult, would be to switch up the system and go more attacking, go to the 4-2-2. Which, to be fair, I could do with these players here. Everyone is playing in a position they can play here, I think. Yeah, they are. I'm looking at it here. Everyone can play these positions. Right, lads, off you go. Good luck. Godspeed. Of course, I made this change against Wigan and it didn't work last episode. I've not really tried it in any of the games since. Maybe I'll never try it again if Man City score here. Although I suppose at this point, when we abandon the 3 centre-backs in pursuit of a goal, kind of expected that we're going to be open at the back against Man City, isn't it? Okay, there is 40 seconds plus any added time. If we want to make something magical happen, the magic has to start happening now. Edmondson with the ball, switches it wide to Egbo. He takes it down. He lays it inside to Matos. He lays it inside to Ramsey, and it's in the back of the net. It's 1-1. We could be taking Man City to a replay. Oh my, I can't believe the tactical changes worked. Egbo on the overlap. Options queuing up in the middle. The 2 centre attacking mids in there. The 2 strikers in there. It fell to Ramsey. He scores. Right, you know what we need to do now immediately? We need to park the tank. Get everyone back where they were playing before. Matos, you can go to defensive midfielder. I'll put you on defend as well, mate. That's how seriously we're taking it here. In possession, we're going back to cautious. We're parking the bus to end this game. There's 3 minutes of added time. Make those changes and hold on. There's 3 minutes left. The ball is in the middle. I thought for a second we were going to create something. I mean, we're on the attack here, although that is not the header that Edmondson needed to do there. And Jack Grealish with the ball scares me. Referee, blow the whistle. Ref, just blow the game is done, ref. Ref, why are we still here? Ref, blow the... He's left his whistle at home. End the game, please. Stop the count. Echeverry. Okay. I'm calm. They were never going to score, were they? Oh, wait. It goes to extra time. I'm so shocked I've said chat as if we're streaming it. It goes to extra time. Here I am playing for the replay. I forgot they changed the rules in the FA Cup. We owe Man City after what happened last game. Players who weren't here last time we took on Man City in the Carabao Cup are currently chanting death to Man City. That's how serious it is. Matos is exhausted. I get an extra sub. Marsh, look how happy he is to be on the pitch. I totally forgot this game went to a replay. I totally forgot that this was a thing now in the FA Cup, that it goes to extra time instead. I mean, we do not deserve to be here, and yet we are here. Didn't we lose to Man City on penalties before in the Carabao Cup? Maybe we're just a really good matchup against Man City. There's 15 minutes left. I'm going to shout some encouragement, lads. Just keep doing what you're doing. Hold on in there. There's green, happy, smiley faces. There's no highlights happening, which I think is good. There's no Erling Haaland on the pitch. There's 3 minutes left, and we are on the attack, ladies and gentlemen. Flood, AA. Imagine. Egbo! Heads it wide. I really thought he'd scored then. And I think that is going to be that, isn't it? 1 minute of added time comes, goes. It goes to penalties again against Man City. And look, I don't want to look at the penalty takers. I know the numbers are bad for the penalty taken. I'm not going to open my eyes for the rest of the video. Probably should open my eyes and deal with what I need to deal with here. Yeah, penalty-wise, safe to say, not gifted with goal scorers. Team talk, relax, pick your spot. I'm proud of your efforts. I'm proud of you, lads. We'll give it one last go. I've been crying out for a moment for Anson to be a hero. This is his chance to be that hero. Grealish steps up. Anson went the right way and he couldn't stop him. I really thought he was going to make a save there for a moment. It's now on Taylor, who's coloured like Casper the Friendly Ghost in the match engine, and he's missed. He might be a ghost after this. I might murder him in the dressing room. For legal reasons, that's a joke. And now Lewis has a penalty for them. Anson goes the right way again, and he just doesn't make a stop. Joey Geldhart, I mean, if we miss two, it's kind of game over at this point, isn't it? He steps up. He goes the right way, the goalkeeper, Luis Enrique, but he cannot stop it. And now it's all on Hay. I want to believe he's got nay chance to score. I saw him horsing around before the penalty. He steps up and Anson saves it. And if we score here, we're all even. I've bigged up Flood as the new key player. I've really bigged him up. Do it for me, son. I hate penalties. I hate penalties. Can we get rid of penalties? Can we just keep playing the game like it's Quidditch until like someone scores? You know, don't have the game end because of time. Oh, if we miss this, we are out. Aaron Ramsey stepping up for us. I keep mistakenly calling him Jacob Ramsey, which is his brother who's slightly better at football, according to Football Manager. You know, just saying, Aaron, I'll get your name right forever if you score this and we go on to win. He does score it. We still need Man City to miss. Gvardiol is up for them, donning the captain's armband, taking the 5th penalty. He has to miss for us to stay in the FA Cup. Anson, can you be a hero? No, he goes the right way. He doesn't get enough on it. Man City wheel away in celebration, and I'm just sad. I mean, when you look at the stats in this game, we didn't deserve to win, did we? That doesn't make it any less painful. My question is, how do we go from being battered by Wigan 3-0 to drawing against Man City at the Etihad? I'm so sad. Reading, the other League One team, by the way, lost to Burnley on penalties too. It's just a sad day for League One. Upbeat Flood vows to keep taking penalties again, mate. I don't know if you will be. 7 penalty taken. Don't think you will be, son. Oh, I feel so sad and deflated after that. And yet I have to kind of dust us off and get ready to go again because we've got a game of the weekend and it's a big one. We are taking on Blackpool. Blackpool in 5th. A defeat against them, we could be outside of the playoffs. And that would be disastrous. When you look at past positions, we've never been lower than 5th. We are in danger of losing grip on the situation that we had previously. Incomplete control. Next game, 3 days away. I'm going to rest up the players. Do not go anywhere. Right, you know what? Bolton today, a win here, and I'll relax. A defeat here against Michael Carrick's men. I might be having a meltdown. I mean, to be fair, they're in 5th, we're in 4th. It's tight between us. They are at home. They've won 5 of their last 6 league games. I feel like this is the kind of game we now just win inexplicably. I say inexplicably, knowing full well we are just about at full strength for this game. AA, of course, I was told he could only play 45 minutes because of the extra time I didn't know was a thing. He ended up playing a little bit more than that. And elsewhere, Edmondson needs a rest. I'm sorry, mate. You're the captain. You can't have your rest today. JB's recent form has not been the best. Carl Flood's recent form hasn't been that much better, but am I just being swayed by the fact that one of the players is listed as our key man? I look at Flood here. I feel like I have to play Flood. Is that mad? Would you play Flood or JB? Let me know. I'm just getting swayed by the fact that on the screen here it did have Flood as the key player. Ironically, of course, now I've gone to check it, Ajari has now been instated as top dog. Might be a big call to leave out JB. I'm going to leave him on the bench. Of course, we can bring him on if we need him. We need a better performance today. Also, I'm still on the behind the goal camera angle here. Let's get where we need to be. I don't want that view for the regular match. For penalties, it's great, though. I'm going to hope that when we do see action, it's down their end of the goal. Blackpool, obviously, the home side. I feel like there's more pressure on them to win this game. We're going to look to build the play out from the back here. Matos bringing it out nicely. Back to Edmondson. A little bit of space for him to explore. Flood made the big call to play him at Registry. He's picked up a few goals this year. This wouldn't be a bad game for Flood to come up with the goods yet again. Ball dink to AA. Options in the middle for the left back to aim for. Back post it goes. Over everyone. Ajari is there. And their goalkeeper's had a nightmare. And it's 1-0 Wanderers. I think it was Brits in goal for them here. I mean, he's come out for it. When you come out this far, you have to win the ball. He was uncontested. Flapped his arms at it. And Ajaria, well, with the simplest goal he's probably ever going to score. You know what? We've scored. I'm going to praise the players. Get the green, happy, smiley faces going. Suddenly, there's only 10 minutes left of the half. Another game where there's been limited opportunities. We've managed to injure one of their players there too, and now we've got a set piece. Mbete, White was under it. Cleared away Ajaria, the goal scorer. In unusual territory, the right back out on the left-hand side, but keeping the play alive nicely. Edmondson, the captain, has only gone and scored. He might be tired. He might need a rest. He can still bag a goal. Not the first time this year that he's come up with the goods, and I'm not going to say it aloud, but did you notice who assisted him? Did you notice? I mean, it wasn't like the assist made the goal or anything, but he had to be on the pitch to do it. Flood. Oh, it's 2-0. I feel good all of a sudden. Dare I have a peek at around the grounds? Oh, did you see that for a second? We're in second. of course, things can change quickly and they've got a corner. So let's not get carried away just yet. Langstaff, of course, the pre-evolution of Longstaff there in the middle with the ball. Now with Wiley for them on the near side. Is he a coyote? Has he got a plan? He lays it back to Wood. Back now with Wiley. And while we are chasing shadows right now, Blackpool knocking the ball around with some confidence. That is a ridiculously good goal. I said that he was the pre-evolution of Langstaff. No, you know what? He's the real deal is Langstaff. This goal is annoyingly good, isn't it? You can see why Blackpool are high in the league. A League One team playing football like this. I'm envious of that kind of football. That was gorgeous. I can't even really be mad. 4 minutes at the end of the first half come and go without any further action. Latest scores on the doors everywhere. Worth noting, Blackburn and Bolton, who are just outside the playoffs, are playing one another right now. Currently, Blackburn lead 3-2. Elsewhere, Leyton Orient, our local rivals, beating Derby County. That'd be a mighty big favour if they could do it. And Barnsley playing? It's hard to see with the little condensed logos. Barnsley taking on Reading, 0-0 in that game. I'm going to tell the players here that I'm delighted with how things are going. We've actually played really well in this game. Ramsey's not had the best of matches. He did get man of the match against Man City. I think largely because of the goal. I'm going to bring in Gelhardt at centre attacking mid for this second half. Just an injection of a bit of quality. I feel like it's a bit of a testament to how crazily close this league is right now. That we are suddenly, from being in a position where we were looking down the possibility of not being in the playoffs at the end of today's episode, now suddenly being in the automatic promotion spot. Feel like there's lots of twists and turns to come to end the year. I'm going to hope they come in our favour. Gelhardt scores, but it's offside. I thought for a moment my sub had made an instant impact. Instead, the linesman's denied me. But you know what? It's not going to hold us back. We could be on the front foot again here. AA lays it inside to Gelhardt. He was tackled, didn't get fouled, and Scarlett, what a finish that is. Dane Scarlett, goal number 17. Feel like for the last few years we had a standout goal scorer. Andy White was that man every single year. Dependable, got all the goals. I don't feel that attached to Dane Scarlett. But realising he scored 17 goals as a free transfer, he's been a really good addition this year. I don't mean to be rude as well when I say I don't have an attachment to it. I just don't feel like he's been, the super prolific goal scorer you expect to need to be in the kind of league position we're in. 12 goals in 32 before today. I mean, it is quite good. You know what? I'm being harsh on him, aren't I? Coming up to an hour played here, I'm going to make some changes to bring in fresh legs. Matos is looking a little worse for wear. JB, on you come at defensive mid. Andy White's been quiet today. I'm going to bring in Joe Taylor. I'm also going to make the decision here just to change our mentality to balanced and ask the players to play the ball out from the back a little bit more. I want us to just hold on to the ball a tiny bit more in deeper areas. Invite Blackpool perhaps higher up the pitch. They've been dominating possession in this game. We've only had 41% of it. Wouldn't mind holding on to it a little bit more to see out this game. We might not need to. If Joe Goldhart's going to score that, it's 4-1. This feels so reminiscent of the game against Derby last episode. It's a big pressure game. We step up away from home and we get the goals we need. Gelhardt on off the bench. Flood with a lovely pass to Dane Scarlett, who turned provider with the assist there. And this shot here just creeps it in off the woodwork. 4-1. That's pretty good. I'll level with you. The 4-1 result really does kind of flatter us right now. We've had 9 shots. They've had 9 shots. The XGs are exactly the same, but, well, a bit of more quality in the final third in terms of finishing has just been the difference today. Our players have been top draw. With 15 minutes left, I don't want to think it's all done. I don't want to get complacent just yet, but we are in a golden position here. Whilst we've choked matches at times this year, we've bottled things, I'll be honest. Don't think we've ever bottled it from this kind of position. I'm going to hope the players are up to the task as Lasala for them at right back gives it to Vata on this near side. Blackpool, if they're going to mount a comeback, they need a goal. They need it now. It's whipped across everyone. Ginley keeps it alive on the far side. Now with Wiley inside to Kilkenny, who pulls the trigger, and that shot off the woodwork. Well, it's just about got away from danger for now, although it's not completely dealt with here. Vata, Kilkenny, Anson, lovely little save. AA injured. I was told he should only play 60 minutes and I ignored that. That's kind of on me, innit? Although recently he's been skiving off training, so is it just karma? All I'm saying is if he wasn't absent from training, doesn't get injured in this game, does he? You know what, AA? No sympathy from me. Saying all of that, hope he's not injured for too long. Let's hope not. Edmondson with the ball for us. I mean, Blackpool time just trickling away here for them to mount anything, and we are coming on the front foot yet again. Ajaria, Dane Scarlett, it's 5. It's embarrassing. I mentioned, of course, the fact that this game and the game against Bolton, which is the last game of the year, I viewed as the most difficult games to end out the year. I mean, is this us playing absolutely amazing? Is this Blackpool playing really badly? I'm hoping this is the start of a turnaround. We hadn't won in 3 league games before this. 7 minutes of added time. There has been a few injuries in this second half. I'm hoping that the AA one wasn't too serious. This game is done. 5-1. Are we still in the top 2? I think it would rely on results elsewhere going in our favour. But you know what? Teams have been bottling things here, there, and everywhere. Look at this. Derby County 2, Leyton Orient 2. They scored in the 98th minute. Barnsley annihilated by Reading. They lost 3-1 there. 2 teams directly behind us slipping up. I mean, it's still ridiculously close. We're going to have a lovely time out front, aren't they? 10 points clear. They're laughing. Oh, there could be a real battle at the end of this year. AA out for 2 to 3 months. That's not good. I mean, I've used Connor Pye this year. He's got 7 assists in 15 league games, which is not bad. There's a real temptation, if I'm being honest, to use this now as an opportunity to promote our hot prospect in Gavin Wallace to the first team and see what he can do. I mean, compared to Connor Pye, he is not as good defensively, but the boy can run and he's only 17. Yeah, but he can't defend. I might give him a run out or 2, though. Now, in terms of games in the immediate future, we've got Leyton Orient in the league away from home. We've already played them this year, so I'm not going to worry about that one. We've then got this Bristol Street Motors Trophy semi-final against Notts County. If we get to the final of this competition, I'll cover it. I'm not going to worry about this game here. Instead, today, we're going to round things off with our youth intake. David here says it's an excellent intake, but then says the best players are C. So I don't know what that means. I'll join you whenever this intake happens in March. We'll find out if David's delivering the goods again. He's given us some great intakes. David, give us another. Okay, folks, it's the 15th of March. Our youth intake is here. There's some okay players. But before I talk about them, I need to talk about one bloke. Gavin Wallace. Obviously, AA out of a long-term injury. Teased this idea. Maybe I could play him at left back. He played 3 games for us. He's got man of the match in 2 of them. Now, since the game against Blackpool, 2 league games, both against teams down right at the bottom of the table, the first, Leyton Orient. Gavin Wallace scored his first ever goal in this 3-0 win. The left-back breaking the record for youngest goal scorer in League One history. 17 years and I think 70-something days old. Got a goal and an assist. And whilst he didn't get a direct goal contribution in the EFL Trophy semi-final against Notts County, he still managed to get man of the match with a 7.4. This game was not particularly good. I didn't even feel guilty about not doing it in the video when it finished 1-0. A Gelhard penalty was just the difference maker. Yeah, not a classic. We're into the final. And who else are we playing except the main characters of this save game? Is Wickham again. It's Wickham. It's always Wickham. Oh, and there was one more league game to mention, this one against Crewe. 3-0 win, Crewe relegated to League 1 off the back of this result, or rather, to League 2 off the back of this result. We're already in League 1. Great win, deserved win. Ajaria, man of the match at right back, was nice too. And with those wins against Leyton Orient and Crewe, who occupy 2 of the bottom 3 spots in the league, we've actually got a little bit of a cushion with 6 games left over the likes of Barnsley, Blackburn, who are on a charge lately, Derby, Charlton. But then again, when you look over our shoulder, you realise everyone is very, very close behind. And based on what we've seen from ourselves this year, we could still very much bottle it. But goal difference, crucially, very much in our favour. Does mean that tomorrow we will have a cup final, but let's not worry about that now. Let's talk about this youth intake. And I'm not going to pretend it's as exciting as some of the previous intakes. It's still rather good. Interesting to note that David here says that Shay Salmon is the player leading the group, and yet he's the 3rd player down in this list, the goalkeeper. We'll come on to him shortly. I've not actually looked at these players yet. The first, though, the one with potentially the most potential, is Sav Bamford. Great name. Very good physicals. He actually reminds me of the striker who we had to promote from the youth team earlier on this year for a game. That man I was thinking of was Alex Deering here. How does Sav compare to Deering? Okay. He's not quite as good as Deering, is he? Nevertheless, he can play left winger or at striker. I think he is an advanced forward in the making. A little bit concerned about his lack of consistency, although he can improve there. Has the mould of a good player, has some nice potential, but yeah, not near the first team. Jordan Ellel is the next of the players. I actually really like the look of this guy. He has quite a cool looking polygon. I'm a little bit concerned about his physicals, but he's got some good mentals, decent ability going forward. Love the work rate, love the technique, love the stamina. He's got a little bit of an engine about him. I feel like, given the fact he can actually play left attacking mid, and I don't play with wide midfielders, I've probably got to pick a position to train him in. I think he might be quite a good centre defensive mid, bizarrely. Am I cooking too much there? I feel like he's really, really well-rounded. The issue that he's got is, obviously, his physicals are a problem. But if you look at him as a Segundo Volante, he's not actually got anything below a 7, except strength. Just pretend strength isn't there. I don't know, he's a really well-rounded player, and his mentals are good. He has okay marking and tackling, really. His positioning's not awful. I think his best bet probably is defensive mid. The next of the top talents we've got is Lamar Beanie here. Great name. Interesting centre-back. He's got good jumping reach. Not the tallest necessarily. Bit disappointing that he's inconsistent as well. Like the bravery. Yeah, I'm not as excited by him. I mean, to be honest, of these players here, the one that a lot of hopes hang on now is the man that, well, David was bigging up. Shea Salmon. Okay, you know what? Shea Salmon is okay. He's tall, not got the best jumping reach or aerial reach, but we can train that. His shot stopping, though, is very, very good. Is it concerning that he's got 19 tendency to rush out whilst having terrible acceleration and pace? Maybe slightly. I look at it, though. One-on-ones are good. Reflex is great. Handling good. He's got some really good technicals for a goalkeeper of his age. Professional personality as well might help with his development. Currently a national North or South player. He should get some chances, I think. I think he might be a good youth team goalkeeper. I have just looked through the rest of these players as well here. The only one who's maybe worth mentioning is Corey Kenko here. 16 years old centre-back. Great aerial ability, great bravery. Obviously, the potential is the problem. He's got really good determination. He actually looks quite good in terms of current ability. Good mentals as well, but he'd have to improve a lot to get anywhere near our first team, sadly. I think I've been spoiled the last few years. I do feel a little underwhelmed by this youth candidate team this year. I think Sav of the lot is potentially the best. Behind him, I think Salmon is also an option. But when you look at kind of previous years, and I'm thinking like players like Andy White, who continues to look ridiculous, and of course likes of Ajaria, Aaron Allen, even, obviously the new lad, in Gavin Wallace here, there's no one like these players in this year's intake who's going to make any inroads into the first team. I can't see in the next few years. I was getting ready to end today on a really big high with a sick youth intake. I guess the fact that it wasn't great grade-wise was perhaps a little bit of a warning that I just chose to ignore. I just wanted to get carried away. You know, with the amount of money we spend a year on our intake and our setup and stuff, I expect good intakes every year, and David's not delivered. Anyway, we're going to leave things there for today. I've just noticed Slaven Bilic is Preston manager in this universe. That is a weird fall from grace. But yes, tomorrow we're not playing Preston. Sorry, Preston fans. Instead, we're going to come back for that game against Wickham in the cup final. And then from there, I think we're going to play it off vibes. We do have Cardiff, Wickham and Bolton to end the year in the league. I'll just hit continue once after I finish recording. I'll redo the outro. Gavin Wallace has broken his arm. I hit continue once and he breaks his... This is why I can't have nice things. Right, you know what? I'm going to go and sign some of these youth players. I'll be back tomorrow for a cup final. Even when things are going well, even when it's a good episode, stuff like this happens and just has to ruin the moment, and I'm sad. If you enjoy my pain and suffering, leave a like. I'm just slumped in my chair and sad. I'll see you tomorrow.